She carried a private feeling that she had somehow fallen behind her own life. Certain realizations arrived later than she expected. Certain lessons took years longer than she thought they should have. Other people seemed settled, certain, emotionally secure, while parts of her still felt unfinished, still learning, still trying to understand things she believed she should already know by now. That feeling created a very specific kind of shame, because she was measuring herself through timing instead of depth. Her past mistakes became evidence against her. Delayed understanding became proof of failure. She had decided that maturity meant arriving quickly, choosing correctly early, avoiding repeated lessons, years of confusion, heartbreak, emotional contradiction. But life rarely teaches anyone that cleanly. Some lessons are understood in the mind long before they reach the body. She could read every book about boundaries and still abandon herself inside relationships because part of her had learned to confuse love with longing, with inconsistency, with something that felt like survival. She could understand self-worth as a concept while still seeking it from people who were never capable of giving it. Awareness only becomes real once it reaches behavior. Certain emotional cycles continue until the pain of staying the same becomes heavier than the fear of changing. That is not weakness. That is how lasting change actually works. This is why her timing was never actually wrong. She was learning something at the depth required for it to reorganize her life, not just inspire her briefly before everything returned to the same pattern again. Once she understood this, something in her softened. She stopped treating her past like a verdict. She began to see that so much of what she had done, she simply could not have seen differently from where she stood at the time. Perspective replaced some of the shame. Compassion replaced some of the urgency. A woman can marry later and choose far more wisely. She can discover herself later and build a life that genuinely reflects who she is. She can awaken emotionally at any point and still completely change the direction of her future, because real transformation does not lose its value simply because suffering came before it. Many women spend years believing they are too late, while standing directly inside the beginning of the life that will eventually make sense of everything that came before it. What changed her was never time. It was the moment awareness finally reached a depth she could no longer walk back from. She saw herself clearly, and once she did, she could not return to who she used to be. That was always the right moment.